having such classes, live classes as we are having today. But still in these classes you are having a human teacher where a human being is sitting, understanding, interacting with you. So that story we have seen a mechanical teacher. Yeah, future, if we will have schools, and if those schools are completely mechanized, completely computerized, how would the students feel? Whether the schools of present scenario are good or the schools of that day are would be good. So that story, there are two characters. How many characters are there? Very good, very good. So what do you think the author wants to convey from this? We have two characters, Margie and Tommy. Okay, let's write that. Tommy and Margie. Who is narrating the story? Who is narrating the story? किसकी लिखी हुई story है ये? Margie's story it is. Very good. It is Margie's diary entry. This story is Margie's diary entry. What is the date? What is the date of Margie's diary entry? Date. Yashi Saloni, Rishabh Utkarsh, very good. Abhishek, Anurag, Vaishnavi, Dipesh, Shivanshu, Janvi, Sundram, yes, Nishita. Very good. So it's 17th May, and the story is set around 150 years, 130 years around ahead. The story would be written in 2157. The story is written a future story. It is. So these stories are called what? What are these stories called? Can anybody go in future and write the story? No, not future story. These stories are called fictional stories. Which story is fictional? Very good, very good. I told you even when I was explaining it during the explanation, I have mentioned that the story is fictional. Some people are joining. For them, I want to tell you that we are revising the fun they had, which is written by Isaac Asimov, and we have seen there's a great personality with this very name, Isaac Newton. And after we have seen why has the author written this story? What message does he want to convey? So here in this story, the author has mentioned what? The author has mentioned how the schools would be in future. We have never imagined that we will be sitting at our homes and we will be having classes like this, live classes. But here still we have human beings teaching. But the author wants to tell that around 100 years later, what will happen? Everything would be there in computerized. Everything would be there, and everyone would be studying in a modern way with a mechanical teacher. There won't be any human teacher because there might be so much of knowledge in the computers stored, in the memories, in the internet. So you might not be needing a human teacher because you might not get all the answers of your questions. So in this story, around 150 years later, the author wants to explain how the school would be, how the scenario of the school would be, and later, what message does he convey? Does Margie, who is writing the story, likes the future school or these kind of schools? Does she like the school of hers or of yours? मार्गी को कौन सा स्कूल पसंद है? आपके स्कूल पसंद है या उसका स्कूल? Of hers, very good, Yashi. Of yours, school of yours she like. Very good, Anand, Sanjal, Shikha, yes, Abhishek, Priyanshu, Rishabh, Janvi, Dipesh, very good. So what I was telling is, so after that we have seen how many characters we have in the story. So we have had two characters that we have seen, and the name of the character are Tommy and Margie. Here also we are seeing that this story, which is a diary entry of Margie. Whose diary entry it is? Margie is narrating its diary entry of Margie. Means the character Margie is writing the story. Also, we have seen the story is set around 150 years later, 17 May going in future and writing the story. So how could possibly the story be written here? So we have seen the story is just imagination. That is how a story can be set in future because there is no time travel machine and nobody can go in future and write the story. So these kind of stories are called fictional story. Fiction, the word itself means imaginary. So in Margie's diary entry was the first thing she wrote. It was dated 17th May 2157, and what was the first thing which was written in your chapter? Do you remember? Many of you might be having the books even. What is the surprising element of the story? So it has been written in the story. Yes, very good. That's what I was waiting for. Today, Tommy found a real book. So see, what does the author wants to convey? कि रियल बुक रियल पढ़ाई और रियल जो टीचिंग सिनेरियो है वो ये है रियल, वरना वो जो बुक है पेपर की बुक है जो आप लोग पढ़ रहे हैं उसको रियल बुक क्यों बोलते हो? So he wants to convey the message what is reality. The reality is what we have today. What they will be having in future would be everything would be virtual. Everything would be virtual. It would not be, not be real because computer would be teaching and students would be studying in classroom like structure. Alone they'll be sitting and studying, so everything would be virtual. So what are things we have seen till now? And Marty was 11 years old. You have seen in the story that continuously this Tommy the character, जो Tommy है वो क्या करता है, बार बार superiority दिखाता है. Very good, Janvi. So there are two reasons कि टॉमी खुद को मार्गी से सुपीरियर बताता है. वो रीजन क्या है? पहला तो ये जो रियल बुक है वो किसको मिली? टॉमी को मिली. दूसरा, मार्गी जो है टॉमी से छोटी भी है. They are neighbors, but yes, Tommy found this real book from his grandfather's grandfather and it was kept somewhere in the attic. Now what is attic? Attic, we have seen attic. जब इनके ग्रैंडफादर लिटिल बॉय थे तब की बुक है, तब उस टाइम उन्होंने बताया था कि उनके ग्रैंडफादर के टाइम में स्टोरीज वर प्रिंटेड ऑन पेपर. वेरी गुड. एटिक एक स्पेस होता है बिलो द रूम, जैसे you have a wall, for example this is the roof of your room and here एक एटिक जैसा बनाया हुआ है जिसको हम लोग नॉर्मल भाषा में टाड़ भी कहते हैं, जिसपे हम लोग सामान स्टोर करके कुछ लोग क्लोज करा देते हैं. एक काइंड ऑफ स्पेस होता है below the roof where things are stored. Yeah, very good. So here thereafter she describes कि वो उनके ग्रैंडफादर बताए थे कि उनके ग्रैंडफादर के टाइम में जो स्टोरीज थी they were printed on pages. उसके बाद स्टोरी में आगे मार्गी बताती है the description of the book. How does the book look like? How did the book look like? The book was having yellow pages and they were crinkly and they were very much shocked. They were very much surprised because yeah, yellow pages and they were crinkly. Also they were surprised. Why? Because the words were there still. उनकी मैकेनिकल बुक में क्या होता है, जब वो इतना रीड कर लिए तो वो फॉरवर्ड मूव कर जाता है, वो दूसरी लाइन आ जाती है. पर इन बुक्स में प्रॉब्लम क्या थी? द वर्ड्स वर स्टिल देयर. जब आप वापस पलट के भी या इट वाज awfully written and it was very awful for them to see to find the words still there where they left it. क्योंकि इनके जो मैकेनिकल टीचर है उनके जो वर्ड्स है स्क्रीन पे वो मूव होते रहते हैं. वेरी गुड. यस. Now Gee said Tommy. Why did Tommy say Gee? Tommy third second paragraph में कहते हैं Gee, what a waste it is. When you're through with the book, you must throw it. I guess. Yes, very good. Yes, he thought that such a type of book would be waste and he would throw it. They say even they compare their schools, their school, their teacher, their book with this book, and they see on our television screen the words are continuously moving and they are ample of knowledge. And here in this book they have limited knowledge. Thereafter, Margie says, "Oh, same with mine." Margie was 11 years old, and in finally the second paragraph of the second paragraph, the character Margie is described, and yeah, and her age has been mentioned you know. And thereafter she asks him, "Where did you find it?" Asked to whom? Maggie asked to Tommy, "Where did you find this book?" And thereafter Tommy said that it was somewhere there in the attic and I found the book. Thereafter Maggie asked, "What is the book about?" What was the answer that Tommy gave? What's the book about? What was the book about? School. Very good. The book was about school. And very good. And as soon as he says school, oh, Margie is surprised. She's very bad reaction she gives, and she says, "What do you write about schools? What to write about schools?" पूछती है कि स्कूल के बारे में लिखने की किसी को क्या जरूरत है. Then Tommy says, "This is not our type of school. It's a type of building," and he describes everything. But before that, there comes the turning point why Margie says, "What's there to write about schools? I hate schools." And thereafter, in the story, there's a narration, there's a part where it is described why Margie hates the school. Why does Margie hate her school? Why does Margie hate her school? Because the mechanical teacher was giving test after test in which subject it was? Very good. The mechanical teacher, because of the mechanical teacher, because the mechanical teacher was giving test after test in geography and she was doing worse and worse. Very perfect. Very good, everyone. She was doing, yes, she was doing more bad and even more worse every time. And that's why she started hating the schools more. Because Tommy's mechanical teacher once went, Tommy का mechanical teacher खराब हुआ था तो वो कितने दिन के लिए गया था? Yes, very good. She hated the slots also. Very good. टॉमी का मैकेनिकल टीचर एक बार खराब हुआ था तो वो कितने टाइम के लिए रिपेयरिंग के लिए गया था क्योंकि उनका कोई सेक्टर क्या हो गया था हिस्ट्री सेक्टर ब्लैंक आउट हो गया था तो उसकी रिपेयरिंग के लिए गया था और इट वाज फॉर नियरली अ मंथ तो टॉमी को पढ़ना नहीं पड़ा था सो दैट्स व्हाट मार्गी एक्सपेक्टेड नाउ हर्स विल आल्सो बी गोइंग बट ऐसा नहीं हुआ हर मदर कॉल्ड अ काउंटी इंस्पेक्टर एंड दैट इंस्पेक्टर हैड repaired it very soon. In no time, it has Utkarsh Singh. His was history sector blanked out, and for that, for nearly a month, the mechanical teacher went away. So Margie also thought the same, but in Margie's case, the inspector came and repaired it. And what happened to actually to her mechanical teacher? The geography sector was a bit geared up. तो वो एक हायर लेवल के लिए हो गया था जो मार्गी सॉल्व नहीं कर पा रही थी. It was difficult for Margie to solve that. That was what was happening. Right or not? Yes, her level. No, no, no. No, Yashi, you don't understand what I'm asking. What I'm asking is कि मैकेनिकल टीचर में किसके मैकेनिकल मार्गी के मैकेनिकल टीचर में प्रॉब्लम क्या हुई थी क्यों ज्योग्राफी के टेस्ट में वो खराब कर रही थी तो वो इसलिए हुआ था क्योंकि उनका ज्योग्राफी सेक्टर जो था थोड़ा सा गियर अप हो गया था हायर लेवल के लिए और इसमें मार्गी की कोई गलती नहीं है हर परफॉर्मेंस वाज एवरेज और जो कंटेंट इंस्पेक्टर है उसको पैड करके चले जाते हैं. There were many things that Margie hated about schools. What were the things? जो टेस्ट था वो जो टेस्ट हाँ वेरी गुड जो टेस्ट उन लोगों को इंसर्ट करना था देयर वाज स्लॉट्स फॉर एंटरिंग द होमवर्क एंड टेस्ट प्लस उनको क्या सिखाया जाता था कोड्स जिस कोड्स में उनको आंसर देना है दोस कोड्स वर टॉट एट द एज ऑफ 3-4 जैसे हमें अल्फाबेट सिखाए जाते हैं वैसे उनको वो कोड सिखाए जाते हैं जिसमें उनको वो आंसर्स टाइप करने हैं. So that was all she hated about school. Means everything she hated about school. Also, yes, control. So there was a room they had to sit alone and they had to study. Many things were there. After that, the story again comes where these people were reading the book, and Margie was much, disappointed, but still she comes back after thinking all this, and she asks, "What? How about schools and all?" Thereafter, Tommy describes his school कैसा था. There was a building where the students of same age sat in one class, and there was a human being who taught. तो मार्गी वहां पर ही तुरंत क्वेश्चन करती है, हाउ कैन a human being know as much as a mechanical teacher. तो टॉमी कहता है ऐसा नहीं होता है. कैसा होता है? My father also knows as much as my mechanical teacher, so it's not necessary. We less or more तो होता है, but ऐसा नहीं है कि human beings are not knowing anything. And then after these arguments, Tommy, Margie's mother comes and she calls for school. मार्गी की मदर क्यों फिक्स टाइम पर स्कूल बुलाती है मार्गी को और कहती है टॉमी भी जाके पढ़े? Because Margie's mother believed that जो young people हैं, if they studied at regular time, कुछ चीजें हमारे वाले कॉन्सेप्ट है, हम लोग रेगुलर टाइम पे पढ़ते हैं तो रेगुलर समझ में आता है. So Margie's mother also thought that if young people, younger, studied at regular time interval, they will learn much better. तो इसलिए वो उनको भी बुला लेती हैं और टॉमी को भी कहती हैं कि जाके पढ़े. And she sat in front of the computer screen. The mechanical teacher, the screen was blinking. Today we will study what? Screen पे क्या था उस टाइम? मार्गी क्या पढ़ने जा रही थी? What was Margie going to study that day? It was arithmetic, addition, sum. Yes, arithmetic. And that's what was blinking on the screen. Today we will learn 2 plus 2, and Margie was least interested. At that time, what was Margie thinking? What was Margie thinking all the time when the screen was there in front of her? Yes, addition of proper fraction, yes. What was Margie thinking at that time? Very good. Margie was thinking about the old school, how much fun they might be having when they used to go sit in one class, talk to each other, and Margie was lost in the thoughts of the old school. That's all about the story. Very interesting story it was. It just conveys a message that whatever you have is the best you can have. Having sitting. Yes, Amit Chaudhary, what happened? What happened? Please use the chat box if it's not necessary. Acha, okay. That's why I asked. So here the authors try to explain whatever you are having, the resources, the teacher, the books, everything is perfect. So you should learn with that same pace. Otherwise, in future, you never know what will happen. We were not knowing till last year that we have to conduct the classes in this way. So we are knowing nothing about the future. Whatever we are getting, that's the best investment, and invest your time and learn something from it. So next what we had after the fun they had the sound of music. अभी सबसे पहले sound of music start करने से पहले I would like to ask you why does NCRT, why has NCRT included these two stories, the sound of music part 1 and part 2? What was the drawback that Evelyn Glennie had? What is the problem that she had? और वो भी क्या वो बाई बर्थ थी? Was she deaf by birth? Was she? Yes, very good. Amit Sanjan, Anurag, Palak, Payal. Yes, yes, yes. Very good. Fabulous. That's what we need, the active participation of the students, and that's it what we want. So she was profoundly deaf, means she was not deaf since her birth. She became deaf later on, and how did she become deaf? She gradually lost her sense of hearing. When was it noticed the first time? When was it noticed? पहली बार कब notice किया गया था? When she was 8 years old. Very good, fabulous. So when she was 8 years old, पर तब न उन्होंने ध्यान दिया ना उनकी मम्मी ने, वो लोग चाहते थे कि वो एक नॉर्मल, वेरी गुड एवरीवन, परफेक्ट। सो वो लोग चाहते थे कि एवलिन लेने अपना जो इंटरेस्ट इन म्यूजिक है वो कंटिन्यू करे, और प्लस एक नॉर्मल स्टूडेंट की तरह रहे, जिसकी वजह से उन्होंने ये किसी को भी पता चले नहीं दिया। और धीरे धीरे जो हियरिंग एड प्रॉब्लम थी, वो और ज्यादा हियरिंग प्रॉब्लम ग्रेजुअली खराब होता गया, और उसकी जो उनकी जो नर्व थी, नर्व क्या हो गई थी, इम्पेयर हो गई थी, खराब